People, good day to everyone and welcome to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I think it's part 13 or 14 right now. Anyways, we are in the Shadow Quarters of Footfall, Chapter 2. Yeah, wait, Shadow Quarters. Don't worry. Won this fight over here. Now we are in order. From behind the closed doors, you hear the humming of primitive washing machines. Voices of laundry workers singing simple songs. Wastewater unsafe for drinking, even after purification, being used for laundry.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
I'm gonna move on like this first. Should be a hidden door here that no one detects.
Victory awaits.
Go. They want to go up.
A new challenge for me? None shall stand in my way.
Aristocrats, guards, citizens.
I won't tolerate weakness. I'll lay claim to the stars.
If there's anything hidden.
It's about time.
How come I don't remember this from Alpha? This crowd. Draft. Shopkeeper. Paint. Adeptus Amasecus.
That didn't go as I'd hoped.
I don't think I saved. Should be fine. Under a layer of rust, scratches, and ancient paint, the silhouettes of long erased letters are barely visible. Undoubtedly in the past, this filthy sign was adorned with the proud name of the bureaucratic heart of the entire Imperium, Adeptus Administrative.
Victory awaits!
Would you detect something finally?
What's that? The Emperor sets my path. The light of terror shines for us. I better myself through my service.
All enforcers are bastards. Eradicating rats. Small nuke in a stone is empty apart from dust and few scraps of paper. There's evidence that the cache once had a small door covering it and locking mechanism.
Follow my lead.
Termination Bridge Sergeant. What are you doing? Burning rats. Once they're done, we can pass. So what exactly happened in a district? Disease, bugs, or something else? Says the situation. We don't know what happened, and we don't want to find out. How exactly the victims die? They found them in their hovels, already dead. Blue sores on their bodies. They stank something awful. Which is why the lot that found them didn't even risk looting the corpses. What measures been taken to deal with the problem? You're looking at them. We stand here, burn the foulness, and we get people standing guard so that no one escapes. Put some mines down, a whole load of them for the same reasons. The water, the sewer is all blocked off. Stop any communication getting out. The air is open, I suppose. But the foulness doesn't seem to be airborne. There haven't been any strange deaths outside the district. Are the people trapped in a quarantine? Of course not. I heard Reverend Hieronymus has been praying for their souls, which sounded more like retribution fell upon them, and rightly so. I wanna enter. Not gonna happen. Ask the Liege if you wanna get in. The Liege of Footfall.
New challenge.
I believe we've been everywhere. Now, how did I miss that loop? And where did I miss that loop? Oh. I can't enter there. Or there. Or there. They're blocking the passage. Basically, I can't do anything. We need to go up here. Adeptus Amasecus.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
We are... I think this is the end. Adeptus Amasecus. This is the end. queues. On the floor, you can see the remains of the void ship's life support system. It seems that whatever dismantled the vessel decided just to leave it in place.
Follow my lead!
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
I got 21 keys. Use them. Fell with a multi-key, man.
Error. Making adjustments. The machine gun runs the inside.
There's grenades inside, we need it. It's a hard check.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Gotta go to Mind Scrambler. What I'll try on this run, alright, compared to the early alpha, this is when I'll try to play basically without grenades. I'll only use grenades as a last resort, because grenades were pretty much OP in early alpha. Now in beta, I'll just try to play without grenades. Don't know how many I dropped so far, maybe 2 or 3, only when I had to. Okay.
New challenge for me?
Get out.
I rise to the occasion.
Cheap Amasecus. Octaviana. Welcome to Adeptus Amasecus, sir. What can Octaviana get you? Amasec, law, something more interesting. The burly woman with a wealth of fiery hair is in the process of tinkering with some unknown device that is clinging melodiously. She has a rough-looking implant in the place of her lower jaw. As you approach, the implant begins to move, as if independently of the rest of her face. What's this place? You're in the oldest watering hole on Footfall, the Adeptus Amasecus. It's the only Adeptus one can find on a Footfall. Octaviana. I serve drinks, lend an ear, and if it comes down to it, quiet the rowdy ones. Folks usually come to Amasecus for either pleasure or business. Might I ask what brought you here? Just curious about this place. Well, it sure is nice to know that this dive piques the interest of people other than thugs and boozers. Then again, the Amasecus is like a Grax. The outside horrible to look at, but the insides are remarkably useful if you know what you're doing. Sitting at this bar often puts folk in a talkative mood, and I don't see anybody paying me to keep quiet. Visits from eminent individuals like yourself boost the status of my establishment, so I can repay you by sharing what I've overheard. Some of it might help you out in your dealings. Odd name, Adeptus Amasecus, not very relevant. What makes you say that? Do you know where you're standing? On the deck of the Martyr's Endurance, a sacred vessel that once belonged to the Adeptus Administrative. 100 years ago, the bureaucrats sent a mission here to establish a department, set up some kind of record keeping, overhaul Footfall, and make everything here follow a billion laws to the letter. As you can see, it was the Martyr's Endurance and its inhabitants that got overhauled in the end. I don't know what happened to them, but the locals like to come here to make deals and count their money like before in this temple of the Imperium's accountants. Over there, you can see even the sign's been preserved, partially. Great place. The new name fits perfectly. I don't know how a place like this could appear in the Emperor's light. I don't know how a place like this could appear in the Emperor's light. This is the best song in Warhammer. This one. Aside from the main theme. The Emperor is always with us, sir. Did you even see the statue outside? It's kinda hard to miss. The thing is visible through every crack. The Immortal One watches over us, and since he hasn't yet blown the sorry excuse for a station to smitterness, and this bar along with it, I guess it suits him just fine. No doubt you picked up a lot of knowledge working in a place like this. Know anything about the Enver's gang? Maybe. Maybe I do know something. Let's not shout about it in the whole bar, alright? I'll be here long after you walk out of this bar, and the Envers respect no agreements, laws, or other gangs. You look at them the wrong way, you're dead. Anyway, to the point, those Envers are scum among scum, the most unhinged goons you can find on Footfall, and even other unhinged goons want nothing to do with them. They have no hierarchy, no territory, nothing, only a nameless leader, who most of the Envers haven't seen once. This leader sends them leaflets with inspiring messages. Followers are recruited by other followers. The Liege try to bring them into line, but it's like this. You clear out one group, and in the meantime, 5 more spring up elsewhere. Like I said, no one knows who their leader is or where this leader operates from. Here's what I noticed. The most recent Enver leaflets, the ones so fresh you can smell the ink of them, always shop up in the same area on the big slum asteroid. Let me show you where it is real quick. She uses drops of liquor to draw a basic map right on the bar. Right around here. Positive they're printing their little poems somewhere in this area. How are things on Footfall? You haven't been to our fine station for a while, have you, sir? As per usual, there's never a dull moment. Either someone's getting shot in the square or some rich guy is going on a safari to hunt commoners in the Shadows quarters. Sure, the Liege makes sure the local shenanigans don't get in the way of business of the station, but what happens out of the outskirts adds a little spice to our lives. We make do, but the real trouble is, with every passing day, it gets harder to find grub. I heard that some horrors are happening in the void outside Furibundus. That not all ships are making it here, and the Liege's old patrons don't seem to be in a hurry to help. It's taking a toll on Vladaym's authority, and if his authority wobbles too hard, he'll have plenty of people lining up to take his place. Give me the latest. This one might interest you. A tale I heard from a tipsy voidborn from a cargo barge. They exited the warp halfway between Furibundus and the Aviorus system and came upon a shuttle wreck adrift. The shuttle was registered the inevitability of Triumph, a merchant ship that disappeared decades ago. She was bound for Footfall. Her cargo holds brimming with valuable goods. She never made it. If anything at all survived the shipwreck, it could be quite a lucky find. Here's another tidbit for you. Some poor sot was here bawling about how his crew tossed out a whole shipment of cargo along with the trash, and it was his fault. He did the fact. Once they docked at Footfall, he immediately went on a run. No surprise there. Had they discovered his blunder, he would have been executed. I don't know what sort of cargo it was, but the ship he served on usually gives Footfall in Winterscale's realm. She passes the 100 Dreams crossroads and Langrin's belt. If you happen by that area, you might want to look wherever that idiot chucked overboard. That will be it for now. Anything else? No. I'll be going.
Victory awaits!
Leftovers. Bordel Skatov. We'll come back to Portal.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Damn it.
Whoa, don't tell me it's a bad save. Please. Don't troll me. Okay. Let me take a manual save just in case.
Over.
The menu system of Adeptus Amasecus looks eerily similar to the design of the internal scan of the fuel compartment. Someone has inserted new data into the void ship cogitator left over from the ancient times.
Operation successful.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Just suicided. Got his tongue cut out by the Envers.
The premonition runs true.
Upholstery of the dirty sofa moves slightly. A soft hissing can be distinctly heard from the depths of the furniture.
Do you see that?
Already seen this. Already seen that. Extra cargo.
It's about time. Follow my lead.
Liege.
What a shameful failure. My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Work.
Victory awaits.
My knowledge has its limits. Error.
Pascal,
Adjustments.
please. Man.
What a shameful failure. My knowledge has its limits.
And you spent a multi-key.
The machine gun
You opened it without a multi-key. You spend a multi-key and you open without.
adjustments. You are authorized. My knowledge has its limits. This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Let's speak with Liege. Woman looks to be in her 40s. She's surveying you with interest. Her right eye appears almost black against her dark skin, while her left eye emits a greenish light filtered through the smudged lens of prosthesis. Her arms are tattooed all the way from the base of her shoulders to her knuckles. Looking for something specific you're buying or maybe selling? Don't be shy, just ask. Doloroso knows all kind of folks. My boys will fetch you anything your heart desires. Grandpa Buckwall says hello. From Prologue or Chapter 1, I forgot. That old rascal. I thought he'd crooked in the mines a long time ago. But old man Buckwall's still alive and kicking, you say? Me and him have been through a lot of interesting scrapes together. And all the weird and wonderful things we stole, acquired. Buckwall will send his regards along with just anyone. You must done him a good turn. And because of that, Doloroso's gonna give you a special discount. What kinds of goods are you willing to buy? Tech. The handling of sacred technology by laypersons, uninitiated in the Omniscience priesthood, is a Category 8 blasphemy. Incriminating evidence of profane acts perpetrated by the unit named Doloroso has been recorded for use in future judicial proceedings. Do you mean to threaten me, Tech Priest? Well then, I'll keep a record of this conversation too. I wonder which of us will feel the harsh hand of justice first. Will it be me standing in chains before your brethren, or you standing in an airlock before my boys? Who are these boys you work with? Heard about how the Clipper Saint Cognatius got hit recently. The cargo was cleaned out, everything of value taken. That was my boy's handiwork. We call ourselves the Fellowship of the Void, an association of the enterprising, like-minded people who help the upstanding citizens of the Imperium rid themselves of the possessions that are waiting on them. You're pirates, in other words. Please, no need to be so crude. Your esteemed self no doubt is aware that Hieronymus preaches that eclecticism is a virtue, and that only by rejecting material wealth can we ascend in faith. Well, I couldn't agree more. We are merely helping the servants of the Imperium to be a little more like Hieronymus, and taking a small commission for our trouble. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Oh, God, this is the shop. Oh. Oh. Stop. Not working with Riza. That's bad if the shop's not working with Riza. Let me try to restart the game, see if it works, but that's really, really bad. Let's go with items. It worked in alpha and doesn't work in beta. It should be the other way around.
Victory awaits.
Right. That ain't well.
Follow my lead.
That really ain't well. I need that shot.
It's about time.
Oh my. Oh my. I can't get out. I'm locked in.
I won't tolerate weakness.
This is really, really, really bad to the bone. We go all the way up to that previous save. And I'm gonna quick save there. And we're getting out. I don't wanna get locked out.
The Whispers told me how.
Operation successful.
See if the shop works now.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Just curiosity. Then I get back. Okay.
Victory awaits.
Nah, shop doesn't work. After the shop doesn't work, I guess. What can get out now?
None
So
shall
what was
stand
causing
in my
this?
way.
Do you cause that? Let me do exactly the same like I did already. Because I gotta save now, I don't care.
Nothing escapes my sight.
Follow my lead.
Can still get out. Shop is not working.
My success is irrefutable certainty.
But I can get out.
Won't tolerate weakness.
At least I can get out. Okay, let's say we save now. Better than nothing, eh? What days cut off? Could it be that someone actually wishes to keep me company? I'll make it short here and reserve this convo for the full release. He sends us to find hidden treasure. That's how it was in Alpha. So I don't read everything. Because I know it's a long convo. He wants a wondrous discovery. It's there on Footfall, I know where it is. Ah, cash in the former lantern. And we can go. I believe we can go and see the Liege now.
A new challenge for me?
There's the Atrium. Stock Alp. Row. Shadow Quarters. Wait, you go to the Atrium. I love this, how you transition from area to area, it's really good. And how Footfall looks like also. Floating around the statue. Really nice. Let's go to Atrium. There's a lot more to Footfall, okay? A lot of hidden dungeons and so on. We're gonna get them now. And if I can reach Coronus Expanse in the next 3 hours, that will be freaking great. I mean, the open world map. But this is a huge area, Atrium. Huge area. Oh, there's a warehouse too. There's a lot. It's a big map. But let's begin.
My house would be proud of me.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Here.
The premonition runs true.
Let's see what we opened up.
Follow my lead.
Servitors.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Jump, Abelard.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Got a great sword, two-handed melee, plus 10 to parry. Huge damage. Voice of command. I'll need to distribute items now, because I got a lot.
It's about time.
The corpse.
The whispers told me how.
Numerous wounds and injuries indicated this was a particularly brutal murder. The letters A and V are carved into the victim's shoulder blade.
Victory awaits.
Inverse. Let's don't get it.
None shall stand in my way.
You're on the right path, Seeker. Remember the place. Small quay, large windows. and more cash is to be found on Footfall. The conversation that I sped up, that's what it is.
I won't tolerate weakness.
To the Liege's palace. Going back the same freaking way.
To the stars.
Check the other side. Nice and easy.
Victory awaits.
Buzzing crowd has closed in on several haired-looking individuals. Some of their faces are smeared with fresh blood. The angry cries and twisted faces leave no doubt a massacre is about to take place. Cut their throats already, what they're thinking, letting the ship dock at Footfall. They're all stricken. No cutting. We get their blood on us. We'll be tainted too. Better burn them. Hieronymus Doloroso. Be quiet, you scoundrel. Let me see something. That's the Reverend Hieronymus. I'm surprised he decided to intervene in a street squabble. Watch in silence. Reverend, but these are heretics, real heretics. Their whole planet is plagued. Folks say they all died over there. And why is that? Because they're heretics. The Emperor punished them. We know heretics, we ran from the heretics. Barely escaped with our lives. There was no plague on our planet, only the arch-enemy's minions, a whole army of them. And if you want to blame anyone, blame those who abandoned our world, blame the governor, blame the tech priests, blame the masters of Kiava Gamma who forsook it in its darkest hour. What's going on? Who are you supposed to be? A rogue trader of the Von Valancius dynasty. Incendia Corda at the Guff. Her ladyship Theodora is head of the Von Valancius line. I saw her with my own eyes, but she came to Footfall. You don't look much like her. Silence. You must be completely out of your minds. A band of woefully dim-witted reprobates who think themselves bringers of justice. Who are you to pass judgment on anyone? All you ought to be doing is suffering and repenting till the end of your days. What's so wrong about Reverend? We just want to put these heretics to death. We're not heretics, we're refugees. Swear it on a golden throne, we served the Imperium faithfully until they hung us out dry. Where were the protectors that were meant to shield the lands of humanity from nightmares? Traitors and heretics, the lot of them. A murmur runs through the crowd, the people gawk at you, at the priest, at the wretched brute, huddling innocent. How tiring. The motley sea of colors that fills the restless crowd is hard on the eyes. So many hues, but most of them are acid yellow streaks of fear. The red buds swelling, ready to burst and paint all who are gathered here. As for the hearts of those who've been forced to defend themselves, they are shrouded in purplish black grief, but their words are as transparent as the ice that lies at the top of a glacier. But commoners are always deaf to others' suffering, for such is their nature. Interfering in their affairs is hardly worth of you or me. address the refugee. Those are serious accusations you're spouting. I hope you have proof to back them up. All onlookers are to return to their homes immediately. The refugees can go to Duck Alpha Road. I'll speak to you later. Comply or face the consequences with coercion. Yeah. I don't wanna get in trouble over this lot. Arrogance and self-righteousness over Malefict. I'm Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso, head of the Drusian mission here on Footfall. I thank you for stepping in. Please come see me when you have time. Until then. Man with his pamphlets. That's just way too many.
My knowledge has its limits.
I'm way too lazy to load.
None shall stand in my way.
Sight of this cogitator would be enough to break any tech priest's heart. The machine is leaning slightly to one side, grimly covered in scroll drawings. Frivolous writing, scratched here and there on the casing, several keys are missing and the rest are coated with dust. The right of operation has been repeatedly and blasphemously violated, requesting identification and punishment of deplorable acolyte entrusted with caring for the spirit of this machine. Try to repair the cogitator. Praise the Omniscience, the machine spirit of this cogitator is aggrieved but willing to serve. Select the section titled Welcome. This is the founder of the Footfall station. The very first rogue trader, Parsimus Devane. Heard of such rogue trader's house. Whoever this Parsimus was, he sure thought big. Lord Captain Parsimus Devane, one of the trailblazers of the Coronus Expanse, the station founder. I read about his great deeds. Lord Devane was once a colonel of Astra Militarum, but by his will later inherited a warrant. He accumulated enough power to gather a small fleet of loyal allies and venture out to conquer the Coronus Expanse. They say Footfall was meant to be his personal palace world, but the construction dragged on for decades, and Lord Parsimus eventually died of old age. His enemies instantly tore Footfall to pieces and turned it into the bastion of humanity we know today. One that is full of bandits, privateers, hustlers, and rogue traders. Select about Footfall. Envisioned by the great Parsimus Devane as a palace in the stars, as majestic as the spirit and mind of its creator. As of the year of this cogitator's installation, merely a small fraction of the great Parsimus designs has yet been made a reality, but already their audacity and grandeur are staggering. Footfall is to become the gateway to the savage and barely explored Coronus Expanse. A foothold for future conquests by the Imperium and the noble Parsimus Devane, who acts by the Emperor's will. Attempt on emergency repair. One of the first structures in Footfall was the colossal statue of the Emperor. A whole asteroid was used for the creation of the sculpture, but even its titanic proportions cannot convey the awe that every faithful servant of the Imperium feels before the Master. The statue is the center of Footfall in the same way that the Emperor is the center and the heart of the Imperium. As construction progresses, new smaller asteroids are being attached to the statue, their surface serving as a foundation for glorious palaces and temples, and their inner tunnels as home for the commoners in Rebel. Select Parsimus Divaine's design. The great Parsimus Divaine intends to conquer the Cronus Expanse, builds the most grandiose structure, which will shine through the ages, praising the names of its creator and his descendants. Footfall, the palace in the stars, the glory of the great Parsimus deeds will live on through the ages, and his grand designs. The great Parsimus Divaine intends to conquer. The spirit of this machine is enraged and will perform its function no more. A brief history of Footfall and where we actually are. And the founder.
I didn't.
This is the statue of Parsimus Divaine, the legendary rogue trader who founded Footfall. Oh man, we got this. I forgot. The funeral. Let's speak with Hieronymus Doloroso. Was it Doloroso? Yeah. The Emperor protects my son. The Emperor protects father. But he protects only those who are pure of heart. Do you think yourself one of them, my son? Be leery of this conviction of yours. Many who have risen to the pinnacle of faith have fallen from it in the embrace of pride, most degenerate. And you must be the young one Valancius. That name carries weight, and it's a burdensome one, for its reputation suggests that Theodora encumbered it with many a transgression. I wonder, will you seek to shed them, or will you carry them onward, picking them along the way like ripe fruit and savoring their sweet poison? Make the sign of Holy Aquila. I put my faith in the Emperor. Well then, be twice as diligent, for this sector will seize the chance to test your fate. Greetings, sister. I congratulate you on your return. Was your pilgrimage fruitful? It was, Reverend. Let it be known to you that Theodora von Valancius' ship was attacked by servants of the archenemy, who appalled the heart of any righteous soul. Not all of them met a fitting end. Some fled. More than that, their blasphemous words clearly pointed to this attack being part of a larger design. Reverend Hieronymus, I wish to join the esteemed rogue trader's crew and help protect von Valancius' dynasty from the forces of chaos. I am divesting myself of the responsibility of guarding the Footfall reliquary. Sister Argenta stood by my side during the assault on the ship, and I could use her assistance going forward. Follow the call of your soul, sister. The Footfall reliquary will be preserved, even without your contribution, as it was in all these years preceding your arrival. I know what it is that calls you to follow the rogue trader, Sister Argenta. You say combat, for it helps you to forget how hollow and worthless our lives truly are. It offers the illusion of meaning. Perhaps you will relinquish this illusion one day, or perhaps you will die before that day comes. Regardless, I wish you luck on your new path. Before you start on a path toward your new destiny, I have a request to make of you and your companion. Many among my flock are from the poorest, most disposed people on Footfall. They brought me troubling news from Footfall shadow quarters. In the darkness corners where the Liege's wardens do not venture, taint has taken root. Footfall is consumed by profanity, but even here, through heresy, serving the archenemy is a rarity. The cultists who now dwell in the shadow quarters mark their abodes with a sun inscribed in blue and gold, and perform strange rituals in secret. The weak find solace in believing these reports to be rumors, but I well know that evil lurks all around us, and I wish to see retribution. I come across heresy surprisingly often these days. Indeed, my son, dark times are upon us, and wretched souls grow even more eager to embrace heresy, both on Footfall and elsewhere. Its foul buds are coming into bloom. Troubling news is arriving from many planets. There are whispers of wicked things taking place on Kiala Gamma, and just recently a transport ship by the name of Navik, teeming with refugees, arriving on Footfall from Winterscale realm. The world was stricken with blasphemous sedition, and such was its severity that they had to flee to save themselves. The Liege refused to accept them, and so they headed for Falstone, a desolate cloister of the righteous. It was wise of them not to linger in this den of vileness. Why don't you go to the Liege with this matter? I do not walk the paths pleasing to the Liege. Vladaym is weak and riddled with worms of the inside. He seeks to please his Kazbalika masters, those peddlers of relics of the unholy Xenis. We're gonna verify this rumor. With great pleasure. I almost wish for the rumor to be true. My heart yearns to battle some heretics. This is where I bid you goodbye, sister. No, well, is there more you wish to ask me about? What are you doing on Footfall? What I'm doing in this den of blasphemers, pagans, and the vilest of souls, you mean to say? Well, Footfall is the first and last stop in the Coronis Expanse. It is the point of arrival for those who have just started on their path, and it's also where those who are reaching its very end return, their souls wounded and bleeding, and embrace both the former and the latter, so they may cast an honest eye over their impurity. Furthermore, rumors from across the entire sector amass in Footfall. If I hear crewmen whispering about a reclaimed shrine world or express a desire to carry the Emperor's light into the darkness among the stars, I help my flock in their sacred duty. Devoted trailblazers need assistance both spiritual and material. Tools, equipment, even garments and simple everyday items. Anything that might help pilgrims on their long journey and during the first days of the harsh frontier life is worth its weight in gold to us. May any help you offer to the efforts of the gathering such things be blessed. I bear another darker duty. The expanse is filled with the tainted creations of the unholy heretics. These insidious objects are a danger to the soul, but I know what to do with them. Should you on your travels come upon dangerous corrupted objects, bring them to me, and the reward for your vigilance will be even more generous. The Drusian mission has much to share with the rogue trader. Doesn't want to move. I have some questions about fate. My sermon planted a seed of fate in the heart of another rogue trader once, in Sindia Chorda. Perhaps you're destined to become my second fledgling. Tell me about the Emperor. You think it is easy to put into words his essence and splendor. The Emperor is the perfect deity that reads our hearts and grants us his light. He led humanity out of the darkness and horror. He created our great home. He experienced torment and pain, which only made him stronger. That is a lesson to us all. Purity is not to be found at the bottom of the dirtiest hive or in golden palaces, but only among the ranks of those who suffered. Argentla silently made the sign of Aquila, her bright eyes burning with unyielding flame. What's the proper way to worship the Emperor? Pray to him, destroy his enemies, and touch not their poison gifts. Cast aside all doubt and be vigilant against the weak souls beside you. When you see a sign of taint, burn it away without pity. Pain is good, it tears the crust of vileness from one's soul. And remember that if you see no fault in you or around you, then you're not being diligent enough in your search, or you're being too lenient in yourself, averting your eyes from the truth. And who are the Emperor's servants? You speak of Adeptus Ministorum. Well, these heralds of his word hold great power. Every priest, myself included, is part of his hierarchy, and the ecclesiarchy possesses the unique right to judge with its virtues and what is malign. The Adeptus Ministorum prays and cares for the temples. It sends missions such as my own to every corner of the dominion of humanity. It fights against heresies. May the Emperor bless his faithful servants. You think that his mercy extends that far? I've seen many who wish to be our shepherds. Power clouds their vision, and their greedy hands scoop up all the way they can reach. The ecclesiarchy is long overdue for cleansing. Many would consider remarks about the ecclesiarchy to be heretical, and many others would find them truthful. preacher of radical teaching that renounces fear. I left the bounds of the blessed Imperium to carry his light into the darkness of the frontier. I come to know depravity firsthand, and I'm now able to perceive it under any guise. I think I can afford myself a modicum of truth. Who's this enemy of the Imperium? He has three faces: the inhuman Xenos, who wish death upon us simply because they're unlike us; the pitiful subhuman mutants, abominations that wish death upon us because they envy us and are ashamed of themselves; and the archenemy, the chaos that reigns in the Materium, which wishes death upon us by its very nature. He forgot to mention people like me. My whole life people have told me I'm filth in the face of humanity, it's poison, it's bane. All of them pious dogs can go to the void. I serve House von Valancy is not your emperor, and it suits me just fine. Tell me about Insidia Chorda. Chorda. Have you heard of a spice Chorda, pirate, blasphemer, xenophile, and egregious apostate? Insidia is her hair, and a rarity among rogue traders. The protection of the Holy Warrant typically leads to swift atrophy of conscience and pious dread, but not in Insidia's case. She relentlessly hunts down pirates and firebrands, and brings rebelling colonies to repentance, establishing strict discipline. The weight of her dread is great indeed. The colonies she punishes are girded with orbital rings of heretic corpses as a warning to the survivors. As her personal confessor and guide, I find no end to the joy her triumphs in fate bring me. It seems to me, Zealot, that is the killings that bring you joy. I do not like that. I do not rejoice when innocents die. But who is innocent? The one whose neighbor succumbed to the cult of the archenemy, the one whose brother became a pirate, the one whose daughter renounced both the law and his light, or are they innocent? Or are they blind cowards who indulge evil? Do you grieve for them? Tell me about yourself. What's troubling your heart? Bad omens, dark times have come. Ships from the Imperium barely appear in the Coron's expanse anymore. In Footfall's shadow quarters, Stain thrives, and the people here are corrupt enough to succumb to gladly. The accursed Xenos have grown bold and are rearing their heads. They attack ships and settlements, walk under the suns of Imperium worlds like kings instead of cowering in the shadows. There's more and more talk of how poorly things are going in the Expanse. Some days it seems I can take 2 steps without hearing some peasant pontificating on the matter. Even if it's dire as they say, the Von Valancius realm will not crumble under the blows of fate, no matter how devastating. Chin up, Lord Captain. This is no time to lose heart and lament your lot. Long as your hope holds, it's also dangerous. Among his servants there have been people of greater integrity who sullied themselves in their attempts to rise above the rest. Who were you in the past? A wretched fiend, blinded by my ambitions. I served in my home planet's Adeptus Administrative Division. I was shrewd and sly bureaucrat, and I soared the great heights with the very chair of perfect. In 30 years I turned my home from a withered fringe colony into a prosperous world. Our world grew as we bloomed, but the bloom was a never winner for wrath. Opulence had depraved us, and luxury had seduced us with sordid promises. The planet's denizens no longer wished to pray or work, they only sought entertainment and dangerous philosophies. 1,000 vile heresies and 1,000,000 appealing vices bred on my world like mold on a Nutribar. In those days, I saw with my own eyes the shameless ugliness of the soul. I repented of my hubris, left the position of prefect, and became a traveling missionary. I've been ever one since. As for my world, 20 years later, the Holy Inquisition consigned it to purifying flames. So now that you're sated with baseness, you think you can lecture people. You're quite right, I'm wicked, irredeemable scoundrel. Shall we embrace, brother? No more questions. Does the trade work? Okay, at least here it works. Can we sell something? Provisions, holy gifts, uniform, jewelry, mechanicus, weaponry, fuel, miscellaneous, uniform, jewelry, uniform, miscellaneous, holy gifts, uniform, complete, nearly 3, jewelry. Mechanicus should be 3. Nice. What can we get? Imperial Scroll 28, 26, 30. Holy. Give me all. It's a lot. The next level I receive, we can pick additional class. Benevolentia Imperialis. For the first round of combat, everyone in the Rogue Trader's party gains movement points. Starts combat with temporary wounds equal to resolve. 10% chance to survive with 1 wound instead of falling unconscious. Nice. Too bad I can't see what it gives. Shit. Okay. There's a lot of conversations on this map, and I'll try to do them all on this part, and then we just do combat on the next part. I think it's better like that. Now we explore and talk.
As it should be.
Mishmash of devices and cables, you notice equipment from totally different eras, some ancient, some merely old, and the others hastily tossed together in more recent years.
A new challenge for me?
Come, I did not loot that. Why? What on earth, man? Come on, Abelard.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
Was it bugged? Oh my. Huh? Oh. Idi vidi gde dolazim. Idi vidi, odlično, idi vidi gde. Nemoj da pobegnem. 1 second to kill some fucking bug. Hammer, full with bugs. Bugs in Rogue Trader, bugs in the house. Okay.
It's about time. Follow my lead. I'll lay claim to the stars.
That wasn't so difficult.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Operation successful.
Jewelry, provisions, holy gifts.
An expected result.
It's cleared.
None shall stand in my way.
Of course.
Victory awaits!
Punish the enemies of humanity. Cruelty, trickery. Punish the Xenos. Villainy, malice. Punish the enemies of humanity.
A new challenge for me?
So many chessmen. Okay, that one is broken.
Follow my lead. I won't tolerate weakness.
There you go. And I've been everywhere. Let's go and see the Liege. That area looks nice.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Vladaym, Tocara, the Liege. My patience, you remember the way out. Dismissed. Vladaym, Vladaym, Vladaym. What does he put such harsh words into your mouth? You talk like you're an imperial clerk, not one of us. Where's my cargo, Vladaym? Falco has it, doesn't he? So that's how you do business with your old friends these days. Jai, our new companion. So you don't remember, then the help will remind you. Guards, escort her out. Hidari move. Jai getting get going while he's letting you go drown your sorrows at the Amasecus and take your lucky stars you were able to walk out of the war. You won't get a chance next time. Now I need to go back to the inn. There's an insult and no threats. See, courtesy and tact are no longer a valid commodity on Footfall. I bought myself a better deal. She turns on her heel and heads toward the exit. As she passes you by, she gives you a quick ounce over, winks at you, then immediately turns away with a flip of her jet black hair. The tall man, who has long since noticed your presence, is studying you intently. Vladaym Tocara, Liege of Footfall. Last, please proceed to my office. Spread befitting a visitor of your rank is waiting. Your entourage will be accommodated nearby. Certainly. While you're engaged in a small talk, you get a chance to take the measure of the Liege Tocara. His expression is aloof and focused, his gestures curt and firm, and his speech calm and quiet, as though he's used to people always listening to what he says. Judging by his observant gaze, he has been studying you in turn this whole time. Vladaym straightens in his chair and says in a polite but completely indifferent tone, "Let's talk business. On behalf of the elite of Footfall Station, I offer you my condolences, Lord von Valancius. We mourn Lady Theodora's loss, and we hope this sentiment is taken as a sign of our good intentions and willingness to cooperate." I heard more sincere expressions of grief. Fair point. You can, however, be assured of the sincerity of my desire to cooperate with you. I'm impressed by your prudence. Your decision to arrive on Footfall incognito without announcing either the death of the previous rogue trader or your own status. It was quite wise. The rumors will spread sooner or later. It's impossible to keep secret something that's known to the thousands of people serving on voice ship, but for now, you're free to reap the benefits of anonymity. As you may notice, Footfall is currently in a state of crisis. Its people would benefit from the patronage of a figure such as yourself. Who was the woman the wardens threw up? A dead woman walking. Some, however, still call her Jaya Heidari, a small-time hustler with big ambitions that will lead her to sticky end. Lore Imperium check succeeded. It's strange a small-time hustler, even a particularly audacious one, wouldn't likely quarrel in public with a figure as important as the Liege of Footfall. What seems stranger still is that the Liege knows this small fry by name. She's irrelevant, since I'm the one in control of the situation in Footfall. I can speak on behalf of all of its noteworthy residents. I was attacked right at the docks. An outrageous stunt, a show of disrespect for both you and me. Sadly, such incidents on Footfall are akin to natural disasters. Impossible to predict or preempt, they simply happen. Many consider Footfall to be a pirate den, but believe me when I say that there is a difference between organized crime and gangs of thugs who've nothing to lose. You were attacked by the latter. The Envers are a gang of punks who spit on our customs and hierarchy. Even their leader is more akin to an ideologue. A rebel rouser who shouts, go on, not a commander. Sooner or later we will find him and have him strung up. That will likely cool his followers forever. Evo idem. Panađije? Šta je? O Bože. 1 second. Gde je? Pokaži mi je. Huh? Where were we? Behind the carefully built facade of composure, you sense anger. It appears that this man is not used to losing control, but that's exactly what's happening. I would like to know more about the Enver's gang. How come they haven't been dealt with? The negligence with which you do business is insulting for an individual of my stature. I beg your pardon, your lordship, but it was your wish to arrive on Footfall incognito. By doing so, you have deprived me of the opportunity to provide you with my numerous guards befitting your high status. Therefore, I strongly advise you to exercise caution on the station until you decide to publicly announce that Footfall has the honor of hosting a rogue trader. What's the situation in the region? Xenos raids growing more frequent, trade is suffering. Rumors of atrocities being committed by enemies of humanity are causing excessive panic due to their exotic nature. The core of the Imperium forces in the Coronis Expanse has departed for the sector borders to combat the Xenos threat. There's been no word from them for a while now. Then again, with the distance and the current issues of astropods, that is not entirely out of the ordinary. Still, we're not yet alone. From several of the worlds hit by Xenos attacks, we receive report of fierce warriors who descended from the sky and entered the fray. The fragmentary accounts lead me to believe that the blessed Adeptus Astartes are operating in the Coronis Expanse, and I await news of their victories with great anticipation. We got Space Marines in the Coronis Expanse. Any Xenos on Footfall? No. For us here, Xenos are more of a source of income than a threat. You should consider your words more carefully. An admission like that sounds dangerously close to heresy. I hear you must have misunderstood. What I meant was loyal servants of the Emperor often trade their spoils here on Footfall, including those claims in battles with otherworldly beasts. Any other forms of interaction with Xenos are of course persecuted without mercy. What patronage do you want from me? Protection, not military protection, but a different kind of security. You of course already encountered difficulties with warp navigation on your way here. I'm afraid the scope of these difficulties extends far beyond this area. Reports of disrupted routes and ships vanishing during short jumps are coming in from across the entire sector. Communication with the Calixis sector has been extremely unstable. Of the ships that have dived into mine in the recent years, none have yet returned. The visits we've had from the other side have also been suspiciously few in number. The last ship that came through the maw was struck by a temporal anomaly. The jump took almost 2 decades in real space-time. We heard of periods of warp instability, including cases where the maw would become completely inaccessible for navigation for years on end, thus temporarily cutting off Coronos' expanse from the Imperium. And this brings us to our main issue. Footfall is a repair shipyard and a trading post. We barely produce anything ourselves and are largely dependent on incoming shipments, especially food shipments. The station naturally has some reserves, but the supply issues didn't start yesterday. Footfall would be obliged if House Von Valancius would assist us by signing a contract for food deliveries. I can't be the only one you ask for help. Naturally, I tried contacting other rogue traders, but the terms of House Corda would have bled Footfall dry, and for the esteemed Caligos Winterscale, instead of a food shipment from him, I received transport, the Nevik. Packed with refugees, I had to send them off to Falstone. So many extra mouths to feed would have only worsened the crisis further. I suppose all these warp fluctuations must have created more pressing concerns for Lord Winterscale, and so I put my faith in you, the third and the last Footfall's allies. So Footfall is cut off from its shipments, the local gangs are running wild, and the local hustlers are throwing tantrums in your residence. Are you positive you're in control of the situation? You're very perceptive. Now you know what you're buying. The situation is difficult, but if you decide to offer your support, you'll forget about the existence of trading hubs other than Footfall, because you won't have more loyal friends anywhere else. Delivery of food shipments from your fertile worlds. Janus, I imagine I'm quite familiar with the jewel of the Von Valancius Protectorate in exchange for fair payment. Get on your knees and ask properly. Vladay's eyes narrow as he gives you a calm, appraising look, then kneels, his body unaccustomed to such displays of obedience, moves slowly as if the air has suddenly grown thick. If this is the price for the station's prosperity, I will pay it. Why is there a quarantine in the Shadow's quarters? Who knows? It could be an actual epidemic, or perhaps the 2 families that started it all just came down with food poisoning at the same time. We're on a space station, the best solution here is to isolate the area and wait for the problem to resolve itself. I've been told when the previous Liege was faced with a similar situation, he ordered that the entire asteroid be detached and dropped into the star. Yes, he did. And what a senseless decision it was. There are more reliable ways of disinfecting an area without having to lose a whole asteroid. That maneuver of his established the station integrity, and consequences of that were still being felt up until I became Liege. When I entered office, I had to negotiate with tech priests to make necessary repairs, and it cost me a prosperous amount of money and resources. He could have at least supplied the people trapped in the quarantine zone. I could have, but I'm certainly not going to. I wouldn't even under normal circumstances, and with the threat of famine hanging over the station and our prospects so unclear, well... I wish to help the people in the quarantine zone. I will have medicine delivered from my ship. I can't bar you from doing so, but I can't help but know that it's not the wisest course of action, with all due respect. Tell me about the Anvers. Doesn't know a thing. Got questions about Footfall. My lips are bound to the oath of service. What oath? A certain custom on Footfall. Any rogue trader who arrives at the station and docks it is considered to be its absolute ruler. and the Liege their loyal servant. That makes me your servant. However, as long as you remain incognito, it will be difficult for you to use this privilege. Keep this in mind if you wish to communicate with these less knowledgeable inhabitants of the station. For them, you're an ordinary visitor to Footfall. Aim at Vladaym's head, so I can just blow your brains out and then instate a new Liege. Surely you don't think that is my first time at a gunpoint, your lordship. You can do it, of course, but I don't think that one you appoint will last longer than an hour. Let's spare their life and refrain from testing your theory. Especially since I'll be of use to you when the esteemed Caligos Winterscale returns and sees the losses his protectorate has sustained. Something tells me you used to be a bit of a bandit yourself. You aren't wrong. My path was long and bloody, but in the end I rose from running a gang that has staked its claim to a treatment filter station to becoming the Liege of Footfall. Many died to make this possible, and those who survived figured it would be more convenient to put me at the head than continue the slaughter of the turf war. I can only hope that my elevation and the peace that came with it have done the station good. So you're just a void rat from the dregs. My, how high you risen. Something dull, bloodthirsty and dark surfaces on Vladaym's face. If you and I were just people, ordinary people, this void rat would have already made you eat these words along with your own teeth. Then this usual formal expression returns. But you're an illustrious rogue trader, and I'm the Liege of Footfall, and such lowbrow larks are beneath us, so yes, my path was long. Who holds the reins of the Xenogoods trade? Kasbali Commission. Criminal Syndicate. He's the main dealer of on the station. There's Doloroso to trade. Ecclesiarchy. There's the inn. That doesn't work, by the way, it's bugged. Let me see what he's got. We're not even on one. He's got Extracticum, but it's 40. 3 of them only, and it's 40. Oof. Well, that's shit. See if I've been everywhere. I think I was everywhere. What we gonna need to do now? Now we need to go back to the inn, recruit the new companion, do the funeral, do the warehouse, do the Denvers, and do the secret. All of that, we'll do it on the next part. Thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you back very soon.